most people think that the artists are doing what the artists are doing, and it's never really the artists. The artists are doing what the record labels allow them to do. That's literally the best way to put it. And when I'm not saying that situations don't happen outside of that, but the record labels knew about Diddy's behavior. The record labels knew about Drake's, so-called behavior. They all know what these people are into, and they're okay with this. This is not their fight. Their fight is with that information coming out. They're there to make sure that it doesn't come out.
Right.
So it's a protective layer to keep the industry appearing as this wonderful, lavish place where they need more people to sign up for. They need more people to populate it, so they don't want to scare anybody off.
Mm-hmm.
But
right, they give off this illusion, this appearance that this is something that you should be a part of, or you should strive to be a part of. You should want to be a celebrity. You should want to be famous, because they feed you this illusion. They only give you the lavish side, the side that they only want you to see. They don't want you to see the undertones. They don't want you to see the darker aspects. They don't even want you to conceive that there is a darker aspect in the entertainment industry. Even though over time, a lot of people are starting to wake up to what's really going on. It's just that they don't have the spiritual strength to stand on something that's, contrary to that. They'll still just, it's whatever. Hey, they're Satan worshipers. That's okay, as long as the music is good. Because most people don't have no morals. They don't have no integrity. They don't stand on anything. So it's easy for them to just conform and accept shit. But it's important for us to understand, just because we see something doesn't mean that that's just what it is. That's what it appears as. Because a lot of us don't even know what we're looking at when it comes to what these celebrities display, what they convey, just in terms of the whole celebrity phenomenon. We have to understand that there's more than meets the eye, especially when it comes to influencers. They work in deceit, subterfuge.
would you say that, did you attend any parties or anything while you were in the industry?
I attended parties, but I've never been to a Diddy's party. But I've definitely been to like social gatherings for sure. Because let's be honest, it's one big party. That's what it is,
Yeah.
And when people say party, it's not like so like a label person I worked with, it's like, yo, you're gonna come over and we're gonna party. That doesn't mean like we're gonna have a celebration and a bunch of noise and people dancing. That just means, are you gonna come by? Are we gonna do drugs? Like
Exactly.
partying doesn't require, when people say party in the music industry, it's usually a party between 4, 5, 6 people. That's what is classified as party. Like, yo, we're gonna party tonight.
Using drugs is a mechanism to turn one out. Certain initiates, they get introduced into drugs in the entertainment industry to be turned out. That's why they have those quote unquote parties, in regards to what he's referring to when it comes to just the simple aspect of doing drugs, but calling it a party. Watch the party die. Kendrick Lamar, like I said, he's someone that they push as some sort of prophet figure. He put out the song Watch the Party Die, or at least they dubbed it as that title, because he's saying that throughout the song, even though it's untitled. But he put out that song, and I believe like a week later or 5 days later, P. Diddy gets indicted. P. Diddy pretty much, he goes through it. He gets caught. And he's down. So it's like one of those things where it's sort of like a predictive element. And it's been like that for Mr. Kendrick Lamar throughout his career. He plays the role of some sort of prophet figure, blasphemous. But just when it comes to my observations, that's what it is. And it's easy to tell based off of the correlative aspect, how you contextualize certain things, from him dropping that record and what he's going into, what he's talking about, pretty much trying to restart the entertainment industry. And he's like the spearhead for it. And then the party starts to die. The one who's known for parties, P. Diddy, all this stuff is all staged, man. That's all it is. It's all staged.
Yeah.
The way Diddy would do. That's what made Diddy was so crazy because he would like really have like all these. He was really partying, doing all this stuff. And they would say for days, right? So in the at the other higher levels that I've been in, partying meant a few people over drinking and probably going to be some drug use.
And it would probably get some more extreme from there, right? You know,
Correct.
at any moment, did you see any? Do you know what the Freemasons are?
Yes.
Would you say that there's Freemasons involved in the music industry?
Yes.
Right. There's obviously Masons in the entertainment industry. It's been like that since its inception. It's Masonic, it's Luciferian, it's all under the same umbrella. All Masonry comes from is the ancient Kemet Babylonian understanding when it comes to the rites and the concepts and the worship system, the belief system. It goes back to ancient Kemet, ancient Babylon, ancient Shinar. When it comes to the Tower of Babel, in regards to Cush and Nimrod, who started that tower, Masonry falls under Babylonian mystery school system, the Rosicrucian order, the order of the just, the order of the Phoenix. When it comes to all these different fraternal orders, all of it goes back to ancient Kemet. So when it comes to the Masonic element in the entertainment industry, you see it. You see a lot of these celebrities where they point to their temple, they have their hand on their chin, they pose in certain Masonic gestures, especially when it comes to thumbnails, the advent of thumbnails, where it's been an influx of people, creators, celebrities on YouTube, where they let you know that they're a part of something that you don't necessarily understand or you can't really conceive, because they only feed you an illusion. They only feed you this, you know, like we live in this lavish lifestyle. We're making all this money and we're famous and this is all great. That's what they feed you. You don't understand that you're a slave when you sign that contract. That's what you become. You become a slave. Then you become initiated into the craft. You become a Mason. You're on that pathway to the 33rd degree. Jay-Z, Kendrick Lamar, Drake, J. Cole, ASAP Rocky, Future. All of these guys are Masons, high level Masons. When it comes to these things that happen in regards to these events like the Drake Kendrick Lamar beef, everything that's going on with Diddy, so on and so forth, all of it is Masonic. Just when it comes to the inspiration, these things have to happen. The Hegelian dialectic, all that stuff goes back to ancient Kemet, ancient Babylon. Masonry, Luciferianism, ancient Kemet, Hermeticism, it's all under the same umbrella. It's all under the same umbrella. Saturnianism, Osirianism, all under the same umbrella. When it comes to that world is governed by Satan. That's what it is. At the behest of the Most High, but that world is governed by Satan.
Okay, see, that right there should prove to many people alone that you're being 100% honest, because most people in the industry aren't going to say that.
Right.
Most people in the industry are afraid of this question, or they act like they don't even know what the Masons are. Now,
but they show the symbolism so clearly.
Yeah, of course. And that's my next question. Do you believe people like P. Diddy, Jay-Z, Beyonce, do you believe they're members of either the Freemasons or other occult organizations?
Of course. And the symbolism, the gestures is how they communicate to you, because they have to conjure up that energy because they get power from the left hand side. So, they utilize these gestures and they go into the symbolism because of the energy that they receive from it. You don't really understand what they conveying to you. You just think that it's a hand sign or what have you. And when I say you, I'm just talking about the average person out here, because the average person out here is simple minded, just is. It's no disrespect. The average person out here is simple minded, so they don't really understand what they see. But the reason why these celebrities, they go into these gestures is because of the energy that they receive from said gestures and symbolism, hand signs. Energy comes from that on the left hand side for these celebrities. Beyonce, Jay-Z, come on, that's obvious. It's obvious. And even if you're someone who isn't privy, or you're not aware of the understanding, you still should be suspicious because certain things just are odd, you know? So it's like one of those things where certain people, they start to understand based off of, you know, how much they see it. It's like, okay, what's going on here? Why do I see this person continually throwing up this hand sign or posing in this way? And then I see it from this other guy, then I see it from this other person. They're all celebrities. So it must be something in common. There must be some sort of, you know, system. There must be some sort of belief that they mutually, you know, go into when it comes to these celebrities. And you know, obviously these celebrities, they're under different orders, fraternal orders, but it's all under the same umbrella. That's what the point is.
That's why I think Diddy's a one-on-one, because I don't really think that he was. He was like his own occult. And the kind of like what you said, maybe he made somebody upset or something. Like Diddy's always been a kind of like a lone ranger, a lone wolf, right?
He
But
uses the same symbolism though.
right, but Jay-Z, you're right. But Jay-Z, yes, 100%.
Okay, good. Are you a Freemason by chance?
No.
Okay, good. I just got it. These are the questions so that my
Right.
audience would trust you, and you know this is important to know. Jay-Z is definitely a Freemason. Diddy is 100% a Freemason. His the same man that I was telling you about, the guy who was interviewed inside of the jail by the police. He was interviewed in a interrogation room, and he was interrogated. And this is literally what he said. He said P. Diddy, Rick Ross, and DJ Khaled. He said they're all gay, and he said that they're all a part of the Bole Masonic organization.
Diddy and Ross, which are good buddies. Okay, they're gay.
Who?
Both. Diddy and Ross and Khaled, they're all gay. Okay?
DJ Khaled, Rick Ross,
Yeah.
and P. Diddy?
Yeah.
They're all gay?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I know you may or may not. I know you're gonna believe me. You have what's called the Illuminati. How do I know this?
Yeah, that's what I want to know. How do you know this?
You know Sean Combs?
Puff Daddy?
Yeah.
P. Diddy, whatever you call himself
Yeah.
these days. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, he's part of what's called the Boule. The Boule is a branch of the Illuminati.
Okay.
The Boule, also known as Sigma Pi Phi, going back to the fraternities in regards to the understanding, you have this symbol right here with the goddess known as Sybil. This is what they worship. And these people, in regards to the Boule, what they do is they act as buffers or intermediaries between the masses and the people that's controlling them. Like a DJ Khaled, a Diddy, Stephen A. Smith, Jay-Z, Rick Ross, Drake. All these people are part of the Boule, allegedly. But that's what it is. They're part of the Boule. The Boule is just a black version of Skull and Bones. It means council, you know, a council of members that understand certain things in regards to the secrets. And their job is to act as intermediaries between the masses and the people in power. You know, when something goes on in regards to some sort of race stage event, some sort of tragic event, they use people that's a part of the Boule to keep the masses informed, or, you know, lack thereof, to keep the masses at bay, or just to influence the masses in some sort of way. Because they understand that people like Stephen A. Smith or certain rappers, they're more easily able to be gravitated towards as opposed to the people that's really controlling these things. That's why you got these black, you know, celebrities that act as influencers, because they're part of the Boule, they're part of Skull and Bones. That's what it is. It goes back to the Bavarian Illuminati from Mr. Adam Weishaupt, 1776. It started in 1904, but it goes back to 1776.
Now, were you ever asked at any moment to be brought into this type of lifestyle? Not directly, maybe indirectly, maybe invited to certain situations where you felt uncomfortable or you felt that things were off?
Yeah,
Can
for
you?
sure. And I would say, with what I do know for a fact, not alleged, but DJ Khaled is bisexual. And Jay-Z has also participated in bisexual activities.
Would you want to say allegedly for your safety?
There's no, I would say allegedly, if it was allegedly, DJ Khaled 100% has been involved in, he's bisexual. I did a show called One Shot, and he was in Miami, and he was open with the guy that he was with. He was gay, and I don't understand what happens there where, because nobody said anything to me like, hey, make sure you don't, go out and say this on record. Make sure you don't say this, da 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 da. So it's weird that would still be hidden. That seems like that should be a fact that DJ Khaled, at least in 2016, was definitely bisexual.
Okay, and we're gonna.
And Jay-Z is without question bisexual.
I mean, none of this stuff is a surprise. It should be a surprise to certain people who aren't aware of these things, but none of this stuff is a surprise to brothers like myself and brothers who follow this channel, as well as the brothers who are aware of what's going on. You see DJ Khaled right here with the orange. It represents enlightenment, represents illumination. This is where he got his star, the star going back to Sirius, or the dog star. He got his star on the Walk of Fame. He has on the orange. He's illuminated. And everybody else that's around him has on all black. DJ Khaled with the black and white to represent the principles. But DJ Khaled is someone who rose up in the ranks without having real talent. Just a curator, an executive producer. But he rose up in the ranks high in the ranks. Like, he's someone who is very, very famous. And you can tell that part of it is based off of what he was willing to do behind the scenes, because people like him with no talent, I ain't gonna say he has no talent, but people like him who lack talent, and you see them in the spot where they're a part of pretty much the elite, like a DJ Khaled. Like, he's someone who is up in the ranks. He's high level. He's in the upper levels. He's with Jay-Z and all these big time celebrities, these big time musicians, Diddy, all these big wigs, because he's a big wig, because what he was willing to partake in behind the scenes. You even heard the brother or the guy Jonathan Hay, he said it. And that should contextualize things in regards to why you see people in positions. It's not because of their talent, it's because of what they're willing to do behind the scenes. That's all it is. That's how you rise. So he has on the orange because he reached that. He reached that plateau. He reached that 33rd. He puts out all these albums with all these big time rappers and R&B artists, and he has very little talent. That's because he was willing to rise up in the ranks based off of what he's done behind the scenes. Jay-Z has talent, but he's also someone who is willing to do certain things to get where he's at. These people, they don't get where they at just clean. They have to compromise themselves. And based off of that, that turns them out. And you hear stories like this, where someone who is a part of that industry is revealing certain things that you should take in consideration because he's credible. And he's saying that it's not alleged. So it's like, come on, man, put two and two together. Remember that video of Diddy where he was talking about Rick Ross and he was licking his lips and all this crazy shit? Should tell you, man. Rick Ross, Diddy, DJ Khaled, Jay-Z, all these motherfuckers is pansexuals. That's what they are. He says bisexual, but that's I'm not even gonna say the surface, because that is revelatory and that is a thing in regards to the understanding, just when it comes to the simplicity of how you explain it. But they just sexually fluid, really. They're pansexuals. They really get into that dark aspect of sexual exchange. When I say dark, I'm talking about depravity. That's what I'm talking about. And that's just what it is. The surface is, oh, he's a bisexual and whatnot. But on a deeper level, it's more about the depravity. Because, being bi is depraved, but it's more about that, the craziest shit that they do. With the kids and the trafficking and the animals, the blood drinking, so on and so forth. That's what I mean when it comes to what they're willing to do. It's not just about them bending over and going into, the left hand aspect where you with another man, it's more nastier than that.